Title of this video is Men Are Truly Capable of Unconditional Love. I have so many examples of this, man. I have so many examples of men demonstrating sacrifice, demonstrating unconditional love, okay? I have to clear my throat again because it's not the virus, it's the motherfucking clouds. Stupid clouds, man. What it is just like stupid, probably like stupid dust particles or something. Some silver, some stupid stuff they put in there. As you can see on the right side of your screen, they're still doing the constructions and things like this, and people are not following the quarantine. They're not, they're still going out. It's fine, man. I'm not trying to quarantine myself. I'm not sick. So, I don't have the virus. But the topic of this video is men demonstrating unconditional love. So many things, man. So many. Like, feminism is not possible without sacrificial simps, okay? Stupid simps. Worshipping the opposite sex. Instead of worshiping God, okay? Instead of being religious, real religious. See, I don't have a problem with religious folks, okay? I don't have a problem with atheists, with religious folks. You have to be consistent with your message. You have to be consistent with, who you are. You see what I'm saying? It's where I get my problems from is people who are hypocrites. People who are doing the opposite of what they say they are. See? Women claiming to be Christians, copying and pasting biblical verse, biblical quotes, posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram. Oh, I love God. Oh, I love Jesus. Oh, you need Jesus in your life. Oh, look at me. Look at me. Oh, I go to church. Oh, I take a selfie at the church. Oh. And then Saturday hits. Bark, 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 bark. See what I'm saying? Man, it's not consistent, bro. It's not consistent. This is why the simp. I think the simp, this simp creature is mass-produced, and it's not natural. Nobody's born a simp. Do you get that? Think back in your childhood. Think back as early as you can from your motherfucking crib, from your, playground, kindergarten. Not a single one of your friends are simps, okay? Not a single one of those boys in kindergarten are simps. If a girl is being a freaking a-hole, that boy is gonna freaking check her on it, man. I've seen them freaking, check them out on it. Like, they would even push each other or something like that. See what I'm saying? I'm telling you all this stuff, like this divide and conquer, this racism, this, black versus white, American this, oh, Asian that, Russian this, German that. It's all divide and conquer. And people who are buying into this stupid crap, this made up reality, this made up fake reality, it's a simp himself, okay? He's a stupid simp himself. So on with the examples, okay? I have so many examples, and and let me tell you this, I have not seen one single woman in my life. I lived in America, okay? I lived in the Philippines. I deployed overseas in Iraq. I've been to Kuwait, been to Afghanistan, been everywhere, okay? Germany, Korea. And I've been everywhere because I've been in for about 9 years, okay? 9 years and a little bit longer, probably like 14 or something like that, because you need the extension in the freaking reserves. So I cannot recall any woman, having like unconditional love, like actually doing something out of the goodness of her heart, man, with no payment, with no nothing, man. I've never seen anybody like that. So while I've seen examples upon examples, real life examples, I will talk about the examples here, okay, of men sacrificing themselves to a woman or to their fellow men, or maybe to their parents, to their brothers and sisters, or to anybody. You see what I'm saying? To their kid, or to somebody. You see what I'm saying? You may think it's testosterone. It's not testosterone, man. What about the bodybuilder women who take testosterone? They got high testosterone. So why aren't they sacrificing themselves? You see? I'm not talking about, suicide, like, jump a grenade. Oh, I'll take a grenade for you. It's not like that, man. It's not like that. I'm just saying doing something out of the goodness of your own heart. Okay? I'm not saying giving gifts. Actually getting up on your motherfucking ass and doing something for somebody, man. Doing somebody a favor, So I'm gonna give you some examples here, man. Give you some real life examples here, and you may think I'm a BS or something like that, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna wake you up right here. Keep waking people up because it's 2020. Even if they don't want to wake up, A simp turns on this video. A simp, I should put a catchy title on this, so every simp that watches this video. I know my subscribers are not simps, but if a simp ever clicks on this video for some reason, then that simp will realize it's the real thing, the real deal. So some examples, man, some examples. I got into a fight when I was a kid, okay? This was before I started learning martial arts, and I was like, I think I was grade 2 or grade 3 or something like that, and I got to get away from that spot right there, because stupid NPCs, OPs, non-player characters, organic portals listening to me. That motherfucker like went inside his car, like he saw me park like over there, and then he went in his car, and then he's trying to listen to what I'm saying and shit. I can't have that shit, man. I can't have these fucking NPCs trying to suck my energy, trying to fucking drain me of my energy. F that, man. To hell with that, So my story is when I was in the third grade, I think second or third grade. It's been a while. So anyway, what happened was got into a fight with a gang, like a little street gang kids back in the Philippines, when I was growing up in the Philippines. And I had a friend, he's a negrito, okay? He's a dark-skinned kid, and he's one of the negritos, and he used to live in the boondocks and in the hills in the boondocks, and he went down, okay? So what they call it, he went down to civilization or something like that, like they used to like make fun of him, and I wasn't making fun of him, and he was looking to make some friends, and I made friends with him, and he's a pretty tough guy, and he already did get some he survived some fights before, and so I thought hey, I should get this guy under my wing, maybe teach him a little bit of, this was like before I learned martial arts, but I was still learning. One of my uncles, one of my cousin's uncle is a karate instructor, and then he teaches karate, and so I went in there, and he's offering like free instruction. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna learn something like that. And the movie Karate Kid came out, and blah blah blah, this and that, and yeah. But anyway, I was about to get into a fight with these kids back then. They're gonna arrange a fight with me, and I told this dude, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go there and like fight these stupid idiots. There's only like two of them or something. It's two of them that wanted to meet with me. So, and this guy, he was like, hey man, I'm gonna help you out. And this guy, like, I just met him like something like 2 days before that. So if like somebody has a spirit, somebody is a spirited being, like just like that guy, the Negrito guy that I befriended. He's and you're gonna notice this. It's like, as you get older in life, you're gonna start to eliminate people in your inner circle that you can sense that they don't have any spirit. Okay, they may have a soul, but a soul is basic. A soul is the main thing. The jing, what they call the jing in Chinese medicine. That is I do believe it is the soul, because soul is a sun. Okay, you get vitamin D from the sun. You get energized when you get a little bit of sun. Too much, and then you get burnt out and get dehydrated, and you may die. Okay, but the thing is, but this guy was like, he was so willing to help me out. He was like, yeah, I'll help you out, man. Like, no problem. This guy doesn't know any martial arts, but he's a tough guy that I know, because he grew up in the mountains, and grew up in a rugged life and this and that. So I grew up like kind of like a Tom Sawyer kind of thing. It's like a half, it's like civilization and half like farm, like farming background and shit like that. So, I mean, being close to nature and things like that, and running around and being close to the farm, like the rice fields and stuff like that. So, that's the first story. So the second story is when I was a teenager. Okay. So some dude heard that I was training in martial arts, and like, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't remember what happened, but this guy was like trying to stab me or something, man. So I was like, I was kind of like into Bruce Lee back then, so it's kind of ripped, typical teenager, like ripped, and if you imagine like a teenager like working out, I was absolutely ripped back then. So, and my kicks, like I could like really kick really high back then. So I can still kick high, but not as much as when I was a teenager. Yeah, but anyway, this was when I was playing basketball in the barrios. And so this guy was like, hey, one of his teammates was like, hey, this guy want to fight you, blah 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 blah, But he didn't say he's gonna stab me. But what happened was, I took off my shirt and I started kicking. I started warming up, because I seen that Bruce Lee shit. So I was like, hey, I seen the Way of the Dragon. So I was like, I was a fanatic in my teens. I was training in different martial arts. I was copying forms in the Shaolin, copying forms, this and that, and like, trying to learn, trying to self-teach myself, and I'm trying to learn from other people too, like informally. Like, people would give you would train you in like their thing in the Philippines, like back in the 80s, the martial arts thing, like, the kung fu shit, the kung fu flicks back then. They got famous and shit like that when I was growing up. So I kind of got into it, and then when I was in my teenage years, I rekindled my love of the kung fu and martial arts, and MMA was coming out back then too, like NHB or something like that, no holds barred fighting. So I'm kind of like mixed up, what I knew back then is like a mixed up, like a amateurish kind of thing, karate here, kung fu there, Shaolin kung fu here, some silat, some Filipino martial arts, like arnis. All kinds of things. So, and then I'm trying to like learn as much as I can from the Bruce Lee stuff. So So fast forward, I took my shirt off when we were about to fight, and then this guy like backed out. He backed out. I'm like, why is he backing up? And then they were like, oh, he's intimidated, like blah blah blah, like he didn't know you can kick like that, blah blah blah. And then the spectators were like, hey, don't fight him, man, don't fight him. I'm like, what do you mean don't fight him? They're like, oh, somebody slipped a knife like on his hand. They're like, can't you see it? Like, look at his right hand, like he's hiding it behind his back. And then sure enough, he's hiding the knife behind his back. And I was getting ready to freaking pick up a rock and bash his head and shit, man. So it's pretty brutal back then. I've gotten to some real scraps back then, man, even in high school. But it's mostly my kicks is what saved me from fools like that, So fast forward, he was like, people came in, like older people came in, and they're like, hey man, like freaking, I don't want you guys to get in trouble, and it's like, you're really gonna freaking waste your life for this stupid shit. And there was an old guy who broke up the fight. He's kind of like, and we both kind of like, yeah, this guy, he broke it down so much, like like teenagers, with raging testosterone and raging hormones. We understood it back then, so we're like, yeah, kind of like it is a waste of time, freaking fighting over this stupid shit. Like like, what is that for? You know what I'm saying? It's, you're gonna die over some stupid shit. Like you're still in your teens. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, all right, man, all right. So so you see, so the older guy has a spirit. The older guy, by going in between, okay, by breaking up the fight, he actually risked his life for me and for the other guy, because I was ready to fucking bash his head. Once if that older guy got in the way, because Filipinos are short people, like the older people are like short. Like this guy was like shorter than me and the other guy. So if he got in the way, I could have bashed his head, or he could have stabbed him or some shit, So as you can see, like unconditional love and shit, man. Unconditional love is like, that's real love right there. You see, that older guy doesn't know me. See what I'm saying? I'm not talking about fucking love like this, like, oh, that's gay shit. I'm not talking about gay shit, man, because a lot of these fucking stupid soy boys back there, I mean right now, when you talk about love, it's like, I'm talking about love like brotherhood, man. I'm not talking about fucking that soy boy freaking GBTQ shit, They want to fucking sexualize everything. Like, these motherfuckers are so dumb, so idiotic, so demonic nowadays. Freaking Californian simps, fucking soy boy motherfuckers. Like, their brains are so freaking dumbed down that they couldn't understand what a brotherhood is. They couldn't understand what a partnership is. They couldn't understand what decency is, man. That's why they don't have any morals. You see what I'm saying? So, okay, the third story. I kind of lingered right there on that story, but this one, I'm not gonna make the video long, but I'm gonna tell you the next story. So the next story is actually happened when I went to high school in Tennessee. Okay, went to high school in Tennessee. My economics teacher told us this story about but this one didn't happen to me. It happened to somebody else, which is his brother. He's a minister or like a pastor or something. I think he's like a minister or a pastor or something like that. But he worked for the church or something. He was I do think he was he was a preacher. So he has a habit, like, I don't know why his brother does this, but his brother adopts like gangs, like drug addicts who are like recovering or some shit like that. There's a stupid NPC right there trying to like slow his car down, so I would like freaking run on the freaking red and he's like laughing right now or some shit, I'll knock that guy down and shit, man. If it's illegal to beat the shit out of somebody, you know. These freaking toxic people are all over California nowadays, man. Maybe before I go, I should freaking make an example out of these stupid idiots trying to rob people and shit, trying to stab you over a freaking toilet paper. These motherfuckers doesn't know that I'm trained in martial arts and shit, that I'm a fucking veteran and shit, man. One of these days, watch, I'm gonna knock somebody down and shit, man. I'm gonna freaking make somebody pass out or some shit. If you make somebody pass out, make somebody incapacitated, the whole freaking gang is gonna freaking run away and shit. They don't know what happened. What did you do to him, man? You just touched him and he went down? What? What the hell? Oh. You see what I'm saying? So, but onto the story, right? Onto the story. So, what happened was my economics teacher's brother was a preacher in Tennessee, and what happened was he adopted some gangs who were like former drug addicts. They got rehabilitated, and you know they needed a transition out of the jail, you know, and they needed like a house basically. So he's like, you know, hey, you help me out on my chores in the house, because he got a big house, and you know, he's like, hey, you got to live with me, and you know, we're gonna blah 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 live by the word of Jesus Christ, blah blah blah, because he's a preacher, you know. So what happened was he told us this long story, like, and he got emotional. He cried several times. You know, my economics teacher cried several times, but I'm not gonna blame him. You know, it's I'm gonna tell you why he cried and shit. So this is a demonstration, okay? Unconditional love. So you know, his brother doesn't have to adopt those former drug addicts. You know, that white car, freaking NPC women out there, they're trying to like, just trying to see if she can park like right here, but I parked like way far, and she's actually gonna go to a store to the back, and you know, they can sense, man. I'm telling you, NPCs and OPs, they can sense if you're a real individual, if you're like a real person with a spirit, if you're not a fake person, you know, if you're not a fake person, if you're not pretending to be somebody else, if you're 100% raw and original. I'm telling you, man, it's not the energy. What it is because these motherfuckers, they couldn't sense energy for shit. They just take guesses and shit. It's what you wear, okay? It's how you smell, what the food that you eat, okay? The clothes you wear, your friends, you know, the way you walk, the way you sit down. It's like your posture. It's all these things. That's why they're like, oh, body language, oh. They're so big on body language because they're actually clueless. They couldn't tell if somebody's fake or real, but the way they tell it is they take a lot of hints. Oh, hints this. Oh, look at him. He sat this way. Oh, look at him. He picked up the rock this way, or he picked up his drink this way. He's drinking this way. He's moving like that. You know, he talks like this. NPCs and OPs, they're like micromanagers, man. They microanalyze. That's why they're like analysis paralysis. You see, that's what they want to do. That is where our academic education, our college, our high school, grade school, this academia shit was created by the NPCs, the OPs. Okay, that's why it's always like microanalysis paralysis is one thing after another, and it's like you keep going down the rabbit hole of freaking information this, information that. It's like never-ending bullshit. It's like you're never arriving to anything. Even if you get your PhD, you never arrive to anything. They still want you to be researching. They still want you to be buried in 1,000 books or some shit. You know? That's how stupid they are, man. So anyway, what happened was my economic teacher's brother, he adopted these, like 5 of the there's five of them, five of the former drug addicts. They got rehabilitated, and they joined the football team, started playing football. And my his brother, my economics teacher, is also a football coach. you know uh, so he trained them, right. And what happened was, these five came up with an idea. One of the five is a former, like a chemist or something. He was like a chemist major or some shit like that, and they did some, kind of like a Breaking Bad kind of thing. Was it, yeah, Breaking Bad or something? Like they cooked up some cocaine or some shit in his house, in his brother's house, my economics teacher's brother's house. And he didn't find out about it until like 3 years later. So my economics teacher in the class was telling us this, and we're like listening to it. We're like, okay. And then and the girls in the class were like, oh, he's such a nice guy. Like he adopted these five former drug addict dudes to live with him, and you're teaching them how to play football, and they're on rehab, and they're trying to get well, blah blah blah, this and that. And what happened was, one of the guys, started making cocaine and shit, and they all cooperated, and they started selling the drugs and shit. So they started getting money, they started making money. And like, his brother like noticed, like, their pants are like freaking brand new, like they're getting new shirts every week. They're eating out all the time. And then so he's not giving them money, he's not giving them any allowance or nothing. And he was like, are you guys how are you guys getting, like, where are you guys getting all this? It's like there's like stuff, there's like sofa right there, because he reserved like rooms for them in his own house. Okay, in his own house. So and I salute his brother for doing that for them. But man, and then, they freaking, how they got busted, right? How they got busted was not because of the stuff that he says, even one of them like bought a new car or some shit. So it was like so many red flags like happening, like, they're like, are you working somewhere? Finally they were like, they came up with an excuse. They're like, oh, we got hired in a restaurant, blah blah blah, we're getting a lot of tips. And they're like, they'll be scheduling themselves, like, leaving from time to time, pretending to to go to work or some shit like that, to convince my economics teacher's brother that they're actually going in their jobs. So so they're sneaky as shit. So they kept selling the cocaine, the dope that they're making in his in his house. And then finally, one of the neighbors was like, man, there's like a bad smell, like a really like rotten plastic smell in your house, like I can smell it. So they're like, oh, you better check your upstairs, there might be something burning up there. Some shit. They're like, could be like burnt, like electrical outlet or some shit like that. They're like, it smells real bad. I was like, I can smell it. And then what happened was, they suspected, and his brother suspected them. And he finally believed the people telling him that, hey, they might be cooking up something up there. That's probably why they're coming up with all this good stuff. And new car, new shoes, new shirts, jackets, and all kinds of things, furniture, and like TVs and shit like that. So, and he finally, he set him up. So his brother set him up. He ended up busting him. They say that they apologized. They're like, oh, we're not gonna do it again. And and he turned him over to the cops, and the cops took him back to jail, and they're back in jail right now. So up to now they're still in jail. So it's been a long time. So they're like repeat offenders. So that story right there, man, like, that's, I mean, can you think of a woman who does that? My economics teacher's brother is a man, okay, not a woman. And my economics teacher is a man. So is that what I'm saying? It's unconditional love, like, like, I can't really see it in females, man. I can't really see it in women. Even with the women, like my aunts, who my adoptive aunts, my adoptive family, You know, I can't sense unconditional love from these fucking creatures, man. From these NPCs, from these covert narcissists. You know, these motherfuckers like set me up with so many shit. Like I have to fucking act like I have to fucking think like a FBI agent, a fucking CIA agent, just to get these motherfuckers off my back and shit, man. So you know, but I'm not gonna expand on that. There could be a different video, but you know, the last part is I'm gonna leave you with before I end this video, I'm gonna leave you with the life lesson that my high school economics teacher told us in class, that everybody, you know, became silent, you know, once they heard this from him, and he says this, okay. A lot of people like laughed at first, and then he kept repeating it, kept repeating it, kept repeating it, and then he gave examples, and then he kept repeating it. That, you know, everybody, I mean, not everybody, but most of the class, like majority of the class, they're like finally convinced that what he was saying is right. That what he's saying makes sense. He says, this is exactly his exact words. He says, don't expect them to like you the way you like them. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that again. Don't expect them to like you the way you like them. He says, it doesn't matter if it's your mother, it doesn't matter if it's your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your relatives, your preacher, your teacher, your college professor, your priest, your president. It doesn't freaking matter, you know. If you like somebody, you know, don't expect them to like you the way you like them, because if you don't expect anything from them, if you're not expecting them to like you, then when they don't like you, then you don't get hurt. We're laughing. We're like, yeah, that's freaking obvious, man. Like, you know, I mean, for us guys, you see what I'm saying? It's, if you like a woman, right? If you like a woman, if I like a girl and shit, because I'm a heterosexual man, if I like a woman, then I'm gonna talk to her. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up off my seat, go talk to her, see how she's like. Okay? And I don't believe in that first impressions bullshit, because I'm the kind of guy that goes deep. Okay? I'm the kind of guy that goes deep, meaning that I want to get to know the person, the woman, underneath all that makeup, underneath all that, you know, that fashion shit, underneath all that facade. You know, oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, I'm, you know, oh, my dad is a preacher. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna get to know the person inside of that, that facade. Okay? I'm gonna all that surface shit, like, you know, looks, money, freaking wealth, status. You know, I'm gonna get to know that person beyond that. Okay, I'm the kind of person that's like that too. You know, I observe a lot of things, and I'm looking to see if you're consistent with your message and shit. If you're actually doing what you're doing. I mean, what you're saying. Okay. So, you know, that fits the bill, man. That's what it even applies to us right here. Like, you know, red pill, black pill, freaking TFL, or whoever, you know. Some people are labeling themselves that, but I don't label myself anything, man. But I am going my own way. I'm doing the thing, you know, literally going my own way. Like, how can I make a video like this on a Friday if I'm not going my own way? Is that what I'm saying? It's, how do I have time to make these videos? You know, like, why would I share personal information to you if I don't care about you? See what I'm saying? It's, why would I tell you the truth if I'm setting you up for failure? Okay? We don't have mentorship, and that's the main thing that's missing to young men, to, you know, young adults these days, to young men these days. But back then, remember freaking, you know, those 80s movies. There's always like, seemed to be like some kind of mentor, like mentoring the young man, like Karate Kid. Okay, you see that Karate Kid? Like, this Italian kid got mentored by the Japanese dude. Okay, there's like a pattern of, it's not just in movies, it's in real life too. You know, because I know the mentorship programs. They do have mentorship programs here back in the 80s and back in the 90s. You know, and they got rid of them. I do think they got rid of them. You know, they even did field trips back then. But man, well, those are the glory days. Those are the red pill days. Okay, those were the actual the masculinity era, the real masculinity era, not the toxic masculinity era. Okay. So and also you notice that's when a lot of couples got married and blah blah blah. You know, not everybody is a simp. Of course, there's gonna be simps, but not everybody is a simp. Okay. So there's dads who are simps and there's dads who are not simps. Okay. I gotta be clear with that. It's, you know, it's not like everybody is a simp. I'm not gonna tell you that everybody's a simp. I'm not gonna tell you that everybody is a toxic woman. There's good women, but there's also toxic women. Okay, there's good men, but there's also toxic men. What I'm trying to help you, the reason why I shifted like this on my videos, is I'm helping you. I'm giving you my INFJ ability to be able to notice, observe these idiots, these NPCs, these inconsistent sheeple, you know, these follower mindset, these toxic people, to separate them from the good flock. Okay, separating the good from the bad, because the bad has become so, you know, so much of a technician that now it's kind of hard to tell if somebody's like your friend or your foe. See what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So, you know, what my economics teacher said right there. He you know, he was right all along. He was freaking right all along, man. And that's it for this video. If you like this video, peace out.